My friend sent me a video clip from Paige Connell. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's been going viral, talking about how she almost got divorced 3 years ago from her husband. Talks about some of the things that led up to why she was unhappy, what kind of wanted to make her get divorced in the first place. I know for me, a lot of this stuff did kind of resonate. I didn't have the exact same situation because we didn't have kids. Apparently, they have 4 kids. They've been married 16 years. And there was a lot of things that made her unhappy in the relationship. A lot of people were saying she was bashing her husband online. So I thought, since it does kind of resonate with me. I do have opinions on both sides. A lot of the comments I read from the videos I watched, they called her entitled. They said that she shouldn't be married. He should just move on and upgrade. So I just want to give my opinion on it. We'll watch through it. In case you haven't seen it, I'll also link that video in the description. So we'll start with the video. I'll just comment here and there. I probably won't watch the whole thing. I don't know that it's all relevant. But there is some stuff that I can see why she would complain about. There's things that I think as a man he could do better. It's not all his fault. It's not all her fault. So we'll just go through that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I know this is a hot button topic. She does sound a little bit entitled, but at the same time, if you listen to what she's actually saying, it does kind of resonate. So we'll start the video here.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for?
All right, now this resonated with me very quickly. I was married to my wife for 11 years. I thought on paper I was a great husband. I was supportive, loyal, would do everything for my wife, good provider. When we were out together, I was affectionate. We'd have fun. We actually seemed to like each other a lot. And then, on paper, that was great. In the end, it wasn't enough. We'll keep watching the video, and I'll kind of piece together maybe why my spouse didn't feel that it was enough, and I guess some of the reasons why our relationship probably didn't work in the end. But yeah, we'll keep going.
But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us.
I can't speak to the raising kids part. I never had kids with my wife. I do know that on paper, I felt like I was a great husband, but there was a lot of things that I was lacking. I was not very purposeful. I didn't have any drive or motivation. I would just really just coast. Never was not much of a leader. Played video games a lot. Didn't really try very hard. Just getting by. Caused a lot of frustration because I wasn't ever actually doing anything on my own. If something needed to be done, I had to be told what that was. I wasn't able to just lead and figure things out. I wasn't being very masculine. So a lot of that frustration I could see early on in our relationship. It just progressively got worse. I don't blame any of that on my ex. That was just not me really knowing how to behave as a man. So I could see why a lot of those issues came up. I would assume if we had kids and I was performing the same behaviors, it would have just amplified that. But we'll keep watching and seeing what happens in this video, and I'll just comment some more along the way.
About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night, when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day, when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make...
All right, immediately my first thoughts when I heard this was that she was looking for a leader in the relationship. Her husband, he's, as she mentioned, on paper, he's perfect. He's a good provider. He's loyal. He's supportive. They have fun together. They enjoy each other's company. But he's not really leading the interaction like a man should. He's not being able to decide what's for dinner. He's not able to do anything without her, like without her having to do something. She's the leader. She's running the household. She's got kids to take care of. And he's supposed to be the man. He should be able to figure some stuff out. I mean, this is my opinion. This is what I've kind of learned over the years, is that women want to be led. They want a guy who can take action and can lead in the right directions. And just from what she's saying, I don't know the ins and out of everything, but from what she's saying is that's what she was looking for. I don't know if she's right or wrong, but this just sounds like what she was looking for was a guy that can take charge. He knows what's for dinner. He knows how to handle whatever responsibilities are in the house. He can take care of the kids. He can take action. So those were my initial thoughts on that. And that's where I messed up in my relationship. I was not able to lead either. I would always ask what she wants for dinner, where she wants to go. What do you want to do today? How's everything with you? I was very, very much letting her be taking the lead, which is a masculine trait. And that just takes her out of her feminine, which maybe this is what she was looking for. She's getting taken out of her feminine, having to do all these responsibilities, including raising the children, while at the same time working.
My life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier, because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me, because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't.
Again, I can see her frustration with this. I don't know what, obviously I think they should be able to talk about what the responsibilities are in the household. But it seems to me that she's looking for a guy that can take charge, can run the household as needed. Not if she's taking care of the 4 kids and still working full time, she is going to need some help. I don't know how late he's working or anything, but that's a lot of responsibility. 4 kids, working full time, and noticing things like dishwasher being full or needs to be emptied or taking the trash out. That's just kind of things that, from what I've understood, I mean, I've been listening to like David Goggins. He says, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. So maybe that applies to her, but he is the man of the house. If he sees the garbage is full, I mean, you just have to take the time to take that out or unload the dishwasher. Like, it is your household. You do have responsibilities. Like I said, I don't know everything about the relationship, but these are just my initial thoughts. Like, okay, I can see why she's frustrated. You noticed the garbage is full, but you didn't take it out. And now you're putting the responsibility on somebody else instead of taking charge and doing that. So those are my just initial thoughts so far.
See how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking,
yeah, again, it just sounds to me like because she's working full time and she has all the kids, she's not getting any sort of support after. I don't know exactly what's going on, but maybe he never changed his diaper, so he wouldn't notice the diaper bag. But it just seems like there are responsibilities that she's expecting him to do. I think the best thing to do would be to discuss this and come out with a chores list. Maybe that would help him to keep him on task so he knows exactly what needs to be done. But yeah, it just sounds, based off everything I've been hearing, it sounds like she's just looking for a leader of the household. She's being forced to be put in that position, telling him what's for dinner, what needs to be put in the school bags when they're going to school, needing to take out the garbage. Like, these are all things that, as a man, you should know that these things have to get done. You have to take charge. You have to be the leader. You have to figure out solutions for this. Where she just wants to come home, take care of the kids, and then just be led. Like, okay, I've done all this. I just want to relax in my feminine. I want you to at least take over a little bit. I don't want to have to think of everything that has to be done.
What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me, and it's not because I didn't love him, but because...
See, I think this kind of spoke to me too. This is where I think why my wife left me as well. On paper, I was a great husband. I worked hard. I mean, I had a job. I didn't work hard at it, I guess. But I did provide. I was nice, very supportive, very loyal. On paper, very great. But I wasn't a man either. I didn't lead. I was always getting what she wanted to do. I would just leave stuff till the next day. Like, oh, I'll get to the lawn the next day because I still have video games to play. And it's not attractive. She might as well just like, well, what's the point of being in this relationship? If I'm going to have to do everything, you're not improving. I can go find a guy right now that is improving. And I mentioned this in the video yesterday, that 90% of what she was looking for, maybe I did have, but that other 10% she was seeking. So if she's looking for that other 10% and she goes out and looks for it, she's going to find that 10%, but maybe miss something else. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of great qualities about this guy. He works hard, it sounds like. He's able to support her and 4 kids. But I don't know the ins and outs of it all. So we'll just keep going.
I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here.
I don't really agree with that. I don't know that society tells you how to behave in your relationships. I think that's a discussion you need to have with your partner. Not just pushing the blame on society. If you want your husband to be more involved, then I mean, you have to have boundaries. If he's not going to be more involved, then there's got to be consequences for that. You can't just blame society. Men's roles are way down here. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that really didn't resonate with me.
And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable...
Again, I can see why this would be a common issue for women. If the man is not leading the household and she's having to do all the work, she's gonna be drawn into more of the masculine frame, which is gonna be against her feminine nature. So that's why it's important for, as a man, you need to be able to lead, figure out solutions. If you know that what the kids need for school, like, you should be able to determine what kids need for school, or at least be able to, be involved enough to know that stuff, in my opinion. At least that's the kind of dad I want to be. I want to be involved. I want to know that my kids are taken care of. I'm doing the best that I can for them. I don't want to just pass all that responsibility onto my spouse because she's going to have, if she's working full time and then taking care of 4 kids, that sounds like a lot of stuff to do. Seems like you could be at least involved. And now that they actually talked about it, there's the communication. They are able to resolve their issues. They're able to see together things that, ways that can be improved. I know for me, a lot of times it's just stuff you don't even think of. Like, oh, I didn't even think that was possible. I guess I'll bring it back to just like self-development. I didn't know that was possible until it was pointed out to me. Maybe he just didn't know that this was that taxing on her until they came up with a solution together of what they need to do as a team. Maybe he needs to wake up 15 minutes early so that every day he can get the trash out or unload the dishwasher, because it is his household. He does need to be responsible for that. It is, self-responsibility, masculine. Like, you have to be able to be in charge of a household.
Way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? But we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon.
Yeah, the way she says like golf and running a marathon, it sounds like, yeah, like I said, I don't know the relationship. Maybe she has a bunch of time for herself too, but it does sound like there's a little bit of resentment there. He might have been able to spend a lot more time on his hobbies while she's busy with all the kids and still working. Which, I mean, brings up the thing. Is it better for him to be able to support her and so she can be a stay-at-home mom? Would that make her happier? I don't know everything that's going on with it, but you can just kind of see some of the resentment she has, I think, because it sounds like he is able to still work on his hobbies where maybe she wasn't, and that was leading to a lot of her frustration.
Right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience. And I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
That's all for the video. I know a lot of people are saying she blasted her husband. I don't necessarily agree with that. She did say that they were going to get divorced 3 years ago, so a lot of time has passed. I kind of look at it more as she's trying to teach people of what she went through. Maybe she could have expressed more than what she was looking for rather than just stating what he wasn't doing. Maybe she could have stated, like, I was looking for a man who could run the household. I was looking for the leader. I was looking for the guy that I fell in love with. Whatever she was looking for, instead of just saying the things he wasn't doing. But I can see why she posted it. It is a good lesson for maybe women who are struggling with the same thing, to give them hope of, what she went through, how they fixed it. Maybe she can give them some tips on how they started communicating, because she could have just gone through with the divorce, done it all by herself. Maybe she would have been happier, maybe she wouldn't. But she clearly did find something that was working. She said 3 years ago they were going to get divorced. It's, 18 months it took to fix it. And now they have a very functional home. They're very happy, it sounds like. They have a much better relationship. And it came down to working on each other, working on themselves, communication, figuring out what needs to be done together as a team. And it's not just putting it all on her or putting it all on him. They had to come together and figure out what's going to work. A lot of the comments I saw were people calling her entitled, people, I don't know which side you guys are on. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about it. But my initial reactions, like I said, I don't have kids, so I don't know how difficult any of this is. I'm just going off of kind of what I'm hearing from her, is that she was just looking for a leader. She didn't want to be asked everything, like what needs to be done with everything. I want you to be able to lead. I want you to figure some stuff out. I want you to know how to take care of the kids, and if a situation comes up and I just can't do it. That's kind of where I felt that maybe he was lacking. In my marriage, like I said, the perfect husband on paper, but that wasn't enough for my wife, and I understand why. Like, I was not giving my best. I was overweight. I was addicted to video games, like all this stuff that I've talked about. I just posted a short today of where I was and where I am now. Like, it's just night and day. If I had been that guy when we were married, maybe she wouldn't have wanted to leave. I mean, maybe it still wouldn't have worked out because we're still different people. We still had a lot of red flags, but I thought I was that perfect husband or ideal husband on paper, but there's a lot of things that I wasn't offering. And luckily we didn't have kids that we had to focus on. Whereas if I didn't make any changes, we both would have been miserable the whole time. We didn't have kids, so it was easier to split and work on ourselves. But I have to imagine having 4 kids, it's going to be tough to get divorced. You don't want to separate the kids from their dad. You don't want to break up a home. You still need to support them. But you're just going to be resentful if no one's going to make any sort of changes. So those are my thoughts on the video. I'd love to hear your guys's, because like I said, in the comments that I read, there was a lot of anger and just, I don't know, a lot of bashing. I don't know what I would say about that, but I would love to get your opinions. Those were just mine. Let me know if I'm wrong or what you'd like to hear from me. I'm going to end it here. It was a nice day out today, so I went to the beach. I'm on my way to Mexico Tuesday, so I'll make sure to post some stuff from there. Stay tuned tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Yeah, have a good evening.